Good morning, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I'm just outside of Dingle, Sweden, and today I've got about 75 kilometers to ride. It's going to be my last full day of cycling in Sweden for a while before I cross into Norway. I'm going to be in Norway for over a month, and then I'll come back to Sweden after that. But for now, today is the last full day in Sweden. So I'm in this area where there's a bunch of rock art scattered through the hills. I'm climbing up to another area where there's supposed to be some drawings. I just stopped at the supermarket back in the town I just passed through, and a guy came up to me and asked about my trip. He wasn't Swedish. No Swedish people have talked to me, by the way. Been in Sweden for over a week. No one's talked to me. But this British guy came up to me and said, you know, where are you going? And his second question was, how do you afford to do this? Which, in a lot of parts of the world, this is kind of considered a rude question, but I'm from California, where people talk about their jobs and money all the time. I mean, it's, for me, a very interesting topic, and I'm not offended by it at all. I was kind of happy that he asked. It's an interesting topic to me. But I just thought I'd make note of that, because one, no Swedish people have really talked to me yet. The girls at the supermarket a little bit or something, but they're paid to talk to me. And so, yeah, and then this question about money comes up right away, and he asks, you know, is Sweden expensive for you? And watch out, Norway's even more expensive, and all that stuff. So, interesting. So I'm stopped here on the side of the road, just eating my lunch, more sandwiches and tortilla chips. The other day when I was traveling with Pablo and Anna, I asked them, you know, what they had learned, if anything, from their travels. And then they asked me, you know, what have I learned? And I named a number of things, and then I brought up the fact that, you know, one of the things that I've learned on my trip all around the world, my travels by bike, is just how many people in the world can't read or write. It's kind of astonishing. I remember the first time I noticed this, I was in Peru on a bus, and the man sitting next to me, probably 60 years old, was very proud of the fact that he was able to name some of Peru's larger cities, like Lima, Cusco, Machu Picchu, you know, things like that. The fact that he could read those names on a map, he was very proud of this fact. And I found it astonishing that a 60-year-old man really didn't know how to read the names of major cities in his home country. Since then, I've seen hundreds of people around the world who don't know how to read or write. Basic things like how to add and subtract as well. Things like when people charge me, you know, 2 for this and 2 for that, they have to get out a calculator and add that up and say, oh, that's 4, you know? So, sadly, I do think that is one of the things that I've learned, is just how poorly educated so much of the world really is. And I was just listening to a podcast last night where they were talking about, or interviewing, this guy who became a teacher despite the fact that he did not know how to read or write, and he was kind of talking about how easy it was to fool people and to get by without being able to read or write. And I kind of do understand that, because as a traveler, I'm going through these places where I don't understand the local language, and it is relatively easy to get by. And so I could imagine going through life and not knowing how to read or write. But at the same time, it's kind of astonishing that so many people don't know how to do it. And in this podcast with this teacher, they said that there are an approximate 32 million adult Americans that don't know how to read or write. And I think a lot of Americans would find that quite astonishing. 32 million American adults don't know how to read or write. I think that was at like a first or third grade level, basically. So you're talking very, very basic. Anyways, I don't know, it's just something on my mind at the moment for whatever reason, and yeah. When I'm scouting out a location to camp, I usually just lay my bike down somewhere where it won't be discovered easily. And then I go on foot and I walk around away from the bike, trying to find a better place to camp. And this way I don't have to drag my bike around everywhere I go with me. I just kind of put the best spot on foot, and then I go back and get my bike once I found a good place. So it saves me some energy pushing the bike all the time. Also, I look at the GPS on my map, on my smartphone, while I'm walking around to note where I am on the map. Right now, for example, I know that I'm about 75 meters from the trailhead where I cut into the forest here. And over in this direction, I have about 700 more meters that I can play with. So I'm trying to get a little further back. This direction, 75 meters. This direction, 700 meters. So I want to go just a little bit further this way. So here's my camp for tonight. I've got my solar charger charging up here, pointed towards the sun. Camp is set. Bike is kind of hidden behind my tent. I put the tent between these trees, hoping that in the morning when the sun comes up at 5 a.m. that the shade from this tree will keep me cool for a little bit, hopefully. We'll see. And my plan for tomorrow is to stay in this town. I might just leave my tent right here, to be honest, and go into town, work at the library for the whole day pretty much, get there at like 11 a.m. And then stay until like 5 p.m. or so, and then come back up here come back up here at the end of the day. So that's it. I won't show you a video of me working at the library tomorrow. That'll be kind of boring. But after that, you'll see me. I got 2 more days to cycle to Oslo. Should be good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting to Oslo. I'm meeting my friend Eric there, and we're going to go on a 10-day bike tour together with ActiveNorway.com, so it should be really amazing. Looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.